basically makes us all look like a bunch of teenagers who never got over high school.
This phrase, mommy wars, might be a little bit like catfight. Like when women have a fight, it's a catfight.
It's almost an involuntary response to judge how other people raise their kids. I'm not proud to admit it, but it's true.
I don't think that all of us froze at age 18 and are still freaking out over who won prom queen. Hi guys, I'm Maggie from Mighty Girl, and my question for you today is, are the mommy wars a myth? Because I think they are. I think they are a media construct so that the Today Show can feel like they have something to talk about on the morning's mom news. When we're talking about hot button issues like moms going to work or staying at home with their kids, or moms breastfeeding, or whether you should circumcise or not, you should expect discord because it's a tough topic. To focus on the small segment of moms who are duking it out in any kind of public forum does a disservice to the vast majority of sane and supportive people who are out there. In my experience, other moms in real life and online have been very supportive of me, and I interact with thousands of moms a day. I really dislike the way that Mommy Wars has sort of come to define my generation's motherhood experience. And I totally reject that. I don't agree with it at all.
Maggie, I agree with you. I think the term mommy wars is just a soundbite marketing speak oversimplification for what really is happening between mothers. I too feel like I, for the most part, have been very supported by the moms around me. We're in unusual positions as bloggers because I think that whether we realize it or not, by writing our blogs and really putting ourselves out there, in many ways we've created these ideal communities. The people that hang around our blogs are generally people who feel supported by us, and so we feel supported by them.
Maggie, I don't really feel like I hear this phrase, mommy wars, let alone it having defined my generation of motherhood. I actually had to go online and Google to see even what it was. And it seems to be a conflict between women who stay at home or women who don't want to stay at home or, don't work outside the house, whatever. Obviously, economic reasons, some people need to work, and also sometimes a mommy needs to work just to feed her mind and her soul. This phrase, mommy wars, might be a little bit like catfight. Like when women have a fight, it's a catfight.
Daphne, I'm totally floored that you haven't heard this term. It is all the rage in the parenting communities and on the morning talk shows. This woman wrote a book, I don't know, years ago, called Mommy Wars, like you said, about women who decide to stay home or go back to work. And the term has sort of come to be a blanket term for anything people get in, any hot button issues among parents: circumcision, attachment parenting, breastfeeding, co-sleeping, all that stuff that if you bring it up, you're bound to get some tomato hookers in your midst. I think that our tendency as a culture to take what are essentially hecklers and label them as part of some movement is really damaging, and it inflates everything. The way the evening news inflates this idea that you need to be walking around afraid all the time because it talks about all the bad stuff that happened last night because the good stuff isn't interesting.
Maybe it's a media construct. I don't know. It seems like it probably is. I mean, I know as somebody who works in the media, we're a lazy bunch of sacks of you know what. And if there's like one article written about it or one spokesperson, and you're booking your show for that morning, you're like, hey, wait a minute, can we do a story on this thing? I got a lady from the University of Yakka Yak, and she'll talk about it. All right, let's do it. Mommy Wars, third hour.
I'd like to say that the mommy wars are just a bunch of rhetoric and some sort of morning news show hype. But I also know that there are times when it's almost an involuntary response to judge how other people raise their kids. I'm not proud to admit it, but it's true. I take as my example the Sarah Palin phenomenon. I remember when it was all over the place that she was going to be a candidate for vice president, and she had a son who has special needs, who has Down syndrome. And I remember thinking to myself, how could she do it? How could she possibly want to run for vice president when she has this child at home who obviously has very serious needs? It was my first gut level response. My first response was judging her parenting.
A little judgment can be okay sometimes. But I also think it's fine if we're not supportive, because just human beings are judgmental. So, stands to reason that moms are judgmental. Little judgment can be okay sometimes.
People who are nasty run on attention. And I feel like all of the attention has been turned toward the segment of the population who wants to scream and yell about their parenthood experience or wants to push their parenthood experience on somebody else. And I just think we should stop engaging. And this term is not helping with that. It basically makes us all look like a bunch of teenagers who never got over high school, and that when we go to the playground, everybody's sitting on the sidelines talking about everybody else or getting their claws out, ready to fight with other moms who are not sending their kids down the slide in the proper way.
Are there moms like that? Because I want to meet them, and I'll kick their ass. Just saying.
Join the Momversation at momversation.com.